Like you're using your hands and staring into my eyes, like
I'm looking.
you're talking to me like it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. I was like, we solved the mystery of who murdered.
And I'm trying to. I agree.
I'm putting it all together. I'm putting the head coach.
Connecting.
Welcome back, you degenerates, to the #1 fantasy football podcast in the world. I'm your host, Mike, with my dear friend, Billy.
What's up, Mikey?
How you doing?
I'm all right. You keep calling me fat, but I'm good.
I didn't call you fat right there.
We're back to the dear friend.
Yeah.
Dear friend.
dear friend.
I thought we were done with that.
I really was hoping so.
How's my other dear friend, Mr. Producer,
friend.
Joe Green?
Doing swell.
Swell?
Dandy.
That sounds like a fat word to me, if I've heard one.
You guys both calling me fat. This is ridiculous.
Comment if he's fat.
Subscribe if I'm fat.
Subscribe from Pham.
So today we talk about the NFC North. We got the Packers, Lions, Vikings, and the Bears.
Stop, Bears.
Also, we got a little bit of news coming from the fantasy world outside of football. Well, it is football.
From the baseball world.
From the baseball
world, giving us fantasy football drama.
Yeah, love to see it. Mr. Joe Green, why don't you break it down for us?
Yeah, I'll give you guys the outline here. So, here we go with the mic. So, Joc Pederson plays on the I'm blanking. He played on the Giants last year. He plays baseball. Let's put it that way. And Tommy Pham, another baseball player, had a fantasy football league. And Tommy Pham smacked Joc Pederson in apparently warm-ups in the face.
The Dodgers. They play for the Dodgers.
I think. Wait, no.
Dodgers and the Padres.
Well, all right. Well, who cares about those details anyway? But yeah, the baseball players. So the league,
those guys.
The league was a $10,000 buy-in.
Cheap.
12-man league. Cheap, he says. And Joc pretty much explained Tommy slapped him because Joc had put a player on IR to pick up another player. And Tommy said it was against their IR rules. So it wasn't like they don't have standard IR rules. Like they must have something different like we had with COVID
the new COVID rule.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we had COVID, so you could add those players to IR, but not like other injured players.
Okay.
So I don't know what the rules were. I'm just speculating. So, and then, so Tommy Pham got upset that he was called. So he did this in another league. Tommy Pham put a player on IR, put the same player that Joc Pederson put on IR. And Joc was like, well, you did it in another league, so that's hypocritical. But the rules in that league were different from the one they're in.
Different league, different rules.
Different league, different rules. Right. So Tommy, so Joc started like just making fun of him in a group chat they have. Like all of them are in a group chat. And Joc starts sending all these memes about how the Padres suck, pretty much.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Tommy gets pissed and leaves the league mid-season.
Can't do that.
You can't do that.
Can't do that.
And then he's like, I'm not forgetting this. So he said he was disrespectful to his money because it was $10,000, whatever. He said he wasn't taking it serious. Last place had to play an additional $10,000. Tommy was in second place when he left the league and didn't let it go. So when he saw him, smacked the shit out of him. And also Pham was suspended for 3 games, and he also got Mike Trout wrapped into it. Apparently Trout's the commissioner, but Trout didn't want to be commissioner, but Tommy didn't want to be commissioner either. He said, I don't got time for this shit. So he made Trout be commissioner and then called him the worst fantasy commissioner of all time.
This is why I'm not commissioner no more.
Yeah. Listen, if I've learned anything from playing fantasy, there's no good commissioner. The commissioner's always just shit. There's no good one.
All
Either
corrupt.
you do nothing, you're corrupt. You're
Or
wrong.
you do too much and you're corrupt as well.
Yeah.
Because you're making up rules like I did.
Yeah,
that's the only way. Like I did.
Air quotes. I did.
Which
Is
is not true.
Making up rules.
I'm just, I'm the man, so I gotta make rules. It's hard to be the man in power.
Are you comparing yourself to Mike Trout?
Yeah, because I'm complaining about this 10K buy-in. That's cheap.
That's cheap.
I will say it is a little cheap.
I mean, for a guaranteed contract in the MLB.
I know Joc Pederson's a big player. He makes that money.
Mike
Trout makes
he's
like $1 million a strikeout. So none of it makes sense. It's not enough. But
you gotta be held accountable. With 10K is not doing nothing to nobody.
Yeah,
it is the commissioner's fault.
It's a commissioner's fault.
It's the commissioner's fault. He should have just dropped that player for him and said that's it.
Yeah.
Well, he has to step in and like lay down the law. Like, what is the rule there?
Coming from the guy who doesn't step in.
This is why you gotta have a
commissioner.
This is why you have to have the commissioner handbook.
This is why
that's why you need the Constitution.
Yes, that's why you need a Constitution.
This is why I've been co-commissioner, because Joe Green doesn't ever want to step in.
He doesn't want to step in, but at least he writes it.
I write the rules.
He writes it.
I told you what the rules are. You stick by the rules. That's it.
And I'm trying to get around them.
Everyone's trying to get around them. That's what.
Especially you, your own self.
Yeah.
Listen, I know the Constitution, so I know the ways around the Constitution. Of course.
Do I.
You're a Democrat. Anyway, let's kick this off. We're gonna start off with the Packers, the Cheeseheads, baby. Last week I went over the distance traveled, and we all kind of did, especially me. We didn't really put it all together, and this week I put in the rank of schedule. I know that is a little bit of questionable.
Is this just to clarify again? Just strength schedule this time, or is
the top one is going to be, we have the distance traveled, so 18th
most.
They're mid-pack, and then their 22 schedule is how easy or hard the schedule is, and they're ranked 22.
Got it. Makes sense.
So they're kind of in the middle of the pack this year, both ways, and that's just take it how you want. With the Packers, we have the biggest trade one of the biggest trades of the offseason. We have Davante Adams going to Las Vegas Raiders
for right after Aaron Rodgers re-signed.
Yes, right after. I think it was like a week.
It was like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, right after.
The Raiders gave up a first and a second to the Packers, who then signed Rodgers. According to them, they had to trade Adams because they weren't going to give that contract, and they had to sign their defensive players, especially Rodgers.
Well, he just wanted out.
Well, that too, yeah.
He didn't want to come back.
But it made sense. They had to sign players.
Yeah.
Key additions this year for the Packers, Sammy Watkins.
Hype train coming back.
Hype train. Christian Watson's their second-round pick, along with, who's the other one? Dotson, I think is his last name. Romeo Dubs, fourth-round pick out of Nevada.
I'm going with Dubes.
Dubes?
That looks more like Dubes to me.
I think Dubs is a better last name, though.
I agree, but they're
Dubes.
both good last names.
Yeah. Those are their key players of addition. Obviously, Davante Adams is a loss. Valdez Scantling is a loss. All that left for this wide receiver corp, it's not much. It's Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, the rookie, Watson. They also have Watkins and Rogers Amari, which was a third-round pick last year.
I like that. Rogers Amari.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
Amari Rogers.
It's Amari Rogers.
Rogers Amari.
He's
a big body guy, so.
Let's start off with Aaron Rodgers and what we expect without Adams on this team. What do you think that's going to happen this year, Billy?
Well, first I'd like to see the confidence that he exudes on the golf course today, because they have that match.
Oh, yeah? How'd that go?
I don't know. It's going on right now. They teed off at 5.
Nice.
Besides that, I don't know. You asked if he's going to be a top 10 fantasy quarterback, and I'm not sure if he will be. I think he'll be right around that cusp. There's no shot he's going into my top 5. There's a big drop-off because he's a man of trust. He's trusted Davante Adams for so long, peppered him with targets year in, year out. You know, Davante could have 3 guys on him, and the ball's going his way. But now it's kind of who's he going to latch on to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm worried, a little worried.
Well, he won back-to-back MVPs, right?
I don't know.
I know he won last year. I don't know who won this year.
I'll look it up.
If he does this, he's going for the three-peat.
Yeah, but all right, forget even the three-peat. Yeah, it is going for a three-peat. Is he even a top 10 fantasy quarterback?
No.
Well, he was last year.
It's going to be around there. It's going to be around 9 or 10.
Okay.
That's my opinion, because he'll find a way. He's a playmaker. The people around him are playmakers. You have Aaron Jones, who's a great pass catcher, right? Who I think we'll get into when we start talking more about the running backs. He'll be more of a receiver coming out. There's a lot of opportunity going around here on this team, and it's just, where's Aaron going to go? That's the bigger question, because you're not going to get the 12, 13 touchdowns that you were guaranteed with Adams. You're not going to get the 110, 120 receptions. It's not possible. So where does it all go?
So back in 2019, Adams missed 4 games for them. In that time frame, Aaron Rodgers had thrown for over a 90 QBR. It's more like 120. He averaged over 300 yards during that time, and he threw for plenty of touchdowns during that time.
Plenty of touchdowns.
I'm
That's my
so
favorite
confused
stat.
at everything you just said.
I know because you don't see this.
He didn't average it out. Or,
I didn't average out. I can just do the math in my head. Listen, you want me to read it?
Yeah, read it, please.
Here,
Aaron Rodgers against Dallas, he threw for 238 yards. Aaron Rodgers against the Detroit Lions, 283 yards.
500.
Aaron Rodgers against Oakland, 429 yards. Aaron Rodgers against the the Chiefs, 305 yards. Okay, he averaged 300.
940 plus what's the last one? 305.
305. This is
1,200
just for,
yards.
I'm saying per
1,250
game.
yards.
You know, he's averaging 300 yards per
And
game.
it's 4 games divided by 12.
That's 4
about
games.
300 yards.
Yeah, that's what I said.
How many touchdowns? A lot of them.
plenty.
2,
of
5,
Oh yeah,
8.
sorry, plenty.
2, 5, and 8.
A plethora. 2, 5, and 8.
Yes.
And
Wait,
there's
what?
4 games.
2, 5, and 8.
He has 0 touchdowns to 1 game.
He's zeros. This is the third.
Goose egg.
He has a goose egg against Dallas.
Listen, if you look at all 6, he had 17 touchdowns.
I know, it's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just talking about 2019. I don't know why this is so
2019.
confusing.
Yeah.
I always said
just
2019. You guys just
2000
don't hear me.
Yeah, you're right. 10
All right.
touchdowns.
Let's just make it clear. These stats are pretty impressive without Adams. But that being said, look at the teams that he played against. Dallas in 2019 was breaking records on giving passing yards per game. Detroit has always been garbage. Oakland has always been garbage. Kansas City's always been garbage.
Kansas City was really bad in the secondary.
New Orleans, good. Back in 2020, that was 283 yards. They have Lattimore. And then the Falcons are dog water. So
Yeah.
we have horrible teams, and he obviously passed on them. Does that mean that he's going to be good without Adams? I don't know. You take it how you want.
He's a Hall of Famer. He was good before Adams. He'll be good after Adams. It's just I'm not concerned where his talent level's still always going to be there. It's just is he going to get frustrated when like Alan Lazard can't make a catch in triple coverage?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's going to cry like a baby and say he doesn't want to play football anymore. He's going to go do Jeopardy. Like, there's a lot of stuff with him now. You know, like we joke about it, but it's true. Like, is his head fully in it?
Is he married or is he not married?
He's not married.
He's not married.
Are they back together or are they not back together?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a whole lot of stuth.
All right, let's move on. We got the running backs. Obviously, AJ Dillon. He's going into his third year. AJ Dillon, second round pick, which kind of makes up a lot because 5th round picks, you have that 5th year option. Now they're coming short. It's almost time to pay him next year. What are they going to do now with AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones?
I think they keep them both going into the future because that's where this is headed. That it's going to become a run heavy offense. They're not bringing in top level talent. They've showed year in year out in the draft that hey, we're not going to draft one of these top wide receivers and we're just going to figure it out. We'll draft an athletic guy, a tall guy, and we'll make the offense work because Aaron Rodgers is that good, but we're going to rely on the run game. And it also helps Aaron Jones, phenomenal pass catcher. You can line him out wide. You can line him in the slot. You can swing him from the backfield. He can catch the ball anywhere, anytime. I've talked a lot of shit about Aaron Jones on this podcast. Year in, year out. I was wrong, and I'm very high on Aaron Jones this year. Got nothing else to say about Aaron Jones again.
Let me back up the stat. Based off attempts, they look pretty split, but given the fact that Jones missed 2 games last year, Jones still had 187 to his 171 attempts last year. Okay, and that's with missing 2 games.
Yeah,
Aaron Jones also had 65 targets to his 37 and caught more than 20 passes more. They both equaled the same yardage almost. But that being Aaron Jones, he has the touchdown. 6-2.
Wait. Dylan had 2 touchdowns? I thought he had 5.
For passing.
Passing.
Wow.
He's just talking straight passing touchdowns. Aaron Jones is also more efficient. Aaron Jones is the better player. The better athlete can do more in the field. So he's usually on the field more, even if he's not getting that work. There's plenty of times last year where they were both on the field at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both going to be fantasy relevant. They're both most likely to be probably top 20 running backs as long as they both stay healthy. I don't want to stretch too far and say, because I'm a little afraid of the offense without Devontae, and I want to see some games first. It's not going to pull me away from drafting Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon. It's more of, are they going to be in the red zone enough for AJ Dillon to bang it into the end zone? What's the deal with that? It's a lot of question marks. There's no guaranteed passing work outside of truly Aaron Jones going to get the targets out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing for sure we know out of this offense.
I'm staying away from both of them this year. I don't know where they're going. I would lead toward AJ Dillon just for the simple fact of where you're drafting him. Aaron Jones he is injury prone. He only missed 2 games, but he was always out. He's always on the sideline.
He was banged up a few times, left a couple games early. The missing 2 games isn't a true only 2 games. So it's more like 4 or 5.
And the fact that it is going into the 3rd year for AJ Dillon, they have to see exactly what they got. They're going to have to pay him next year. They're not paying 2 running backs $13+ million. They're just not happening. So that's off. We're going to have a wide receivers. We're going to talk quickly about this because there's not much to say. We have Lazard. We're going to basically talk about the rookies real quick. We're going to talk about Christian Watson's, their 2nd round pick, 34th overall pick. Monster talent coming from South Dakota. 6'4", 208 pounds. Ran a 4.43, 4.4. Average 20 yards per catch.
Yeah.
Over 105 catches last year. He is a kick returner. Billy laughed at me for putting this, but
it's just the way it was written. It said scored 2 kickoff return touchdowns and could be Packers Week 1 returner. As if they didn't draft him to be a wide receiver, they drafted him to be a kick returner. That's the way you wrote it, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's just what we're going.
And then I reminded him Randall Cobb was a 1st round pick and went to All Pro as a rookie returner. Then we have Romeo
Dubs.
4th round pick from Nevada, 132nd pick. He has a length. He's 6'1", 204 pounds. They basically say he's deep threat. He's just a straight line guy type player. Back-to-back 1,000 yards. I don't see much from him his rookie year. I think Watson's going to be the key guy. It'd be interesting to see exactly how big he's going to be. Is he going to be a 2nd round pick gem like Jefferson? I don't know. I doubt it. He's coming from not really a name brand school. He's not from Alabama, LSU, Georgia. So how much is learning this playbook going to be? I know his father was a player, so maybe that helps him out a little bit with the playbook.
He's a big, strong, fast target.
Absolutely.
He's got all the physical attributes. It's just
he's the perfect.
We'll see.
Perfect wide receiver.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with him.
Let's see how much he goes. When we do the rankings, that's going to be interesting of where we put him because there's not much to go here between Lazard, Aaron Jones. I don't think Cobb is going to be much. He's always injured.
Robert Tynan coming back.
Yeah, from injury.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins is still there.
Sammy Watkins, we never know what the first 3 games he's a Hall of Famer.
The king.
And after that,
first week king.
Week 1 king.
The good part about this is the division they play in.
If Sammy Watkins emerges as the wide receiver 1 in this team for the whole year, are you guys surprised? Will you guys deal with my shit the whole year?
When was it when he said he was going to be top 10 again?
That was
like 3 years.
2 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Death taxes in week 1, Sammy Watkins.
Love it.
I will say real quick. I know you really weren't speaking much on the other receivers. This is going to sound like a hot take, but I guarantee you, Allen Lazard is a top 15 wide receiver this year.
Lazard, I always loved as a player. His height to measurables is pretty impressive. I think he's 6'5". Like, he's the same thing as Watson's, a little bit bigger.
He dropped a lot of really important balls late in the year last year.
It's also, can he stay healthy too? I mean, it said he only missed 2 games, but I'm telling you, it's more than that.
The year before, he missed 6.
Yeah, so.
Touchdown
I'm
machine.
just saying, he's a touchdown machine, absolutely. Can he handle the 12 to 14 targets a game? I don't know.
I don't even think he'll get that. I think he might get 10.
That's what you need.
We didn't talk about Tanyan, but Tanyan's back. He's coming from ACL, though, so I don't know when he will be available.
He should be healthy.
He should be.
He got hurt early in the year.
Yeah, it should be pretty decent, but what can be year 1 from a tight end? I don't know.
People aren't drafting Robert Tanyan, man.
Well, did we draft him last year?
He was pretty bad.
He's touchdown or bust. We already know that.
Well, there's a lot of touchdowns to go around this year.
Absolutely. Next off, we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions.
Sneaky
Lions.
Way better transition from last week.
Or kick it off.
You want my right ball or my left ball? Or both.
As long as he gets to kick it off first. Go ahead, Mike.
Detroit Lions,
ruined
baby.
His transition.
It's gone. Detroit Lions. I think the how far they travel versus their rank of schedule is pretty interesting because they do have their second least traveled team, only 8,000 miles, 8 time zones. They're not going nowhere. They're taking the city bus, and they have the 28th ranked schedule, which is pretty easily done. Their hardest competition is going to be the Green Bay Packers all year.
That's stout competition, though.
Yep. The key additions are going to be Jameis Wilson and DJ Chark.
Jameis Williams.
Jameson.
Yeah, it's Jameson Williams.
What did I say?
You said Wilson.
Said my last name.
What's his last name?
Williams.
Really? Why did I have that?
I have a myriad of reasons why you wrote something wrong.
Let me correct this because I'm going to say it all day long. And it's right there, too.
It's
Damn.
literally in a different color.
It's a different color. You know what I tell you? Different colors change everything.
Didn't help you. Didn't help at all.
The T lost. I just wrote this as a laugh. It was Trey Flowers.
Yeah.
What a horrible contract that was.
I don't think that had any fantasy impact.
It has nothing. I put lol at the end.
Lol.
I had a DJ Chark too. I don't know if you mentioned it.
Yeah,
I did. I mentioned. That's my boy. That's LSU God.
Stuck on the Wilson part for a little.
All right, boys. So, we're talking about Jared Goff. Do we think that he's going to be good enough to support more than 2 fantasy relevant players?
He's done it before.
He did.
And I don't know if the offense suits it because they still want to run the ball. Jameson Williams is by far the best wide receiver on this team. Will be whenever he comes back.
You're about to say, well,
he'll be
hating
back.
on St. Brown, baby. That's my guy.
St. Brown is only going to see the field in 3rd down. He's not going to be out. He's not
going to be on the.
He's not an every down wide receiver.
He's going to be every down wide receiver on this team.
I don't think so. Once DJ Chark is fully healthy, he's not as good as
you're also debating if Chark is going to be healthy. He hasn't stayed healthy.
Should be. And then you have T.J. Hawkinson. You have DeAndre Swift who catches balls. A lot of mouths to feed. Your boy Quintez Cephas. There's a lot of.
Didn't they have Khalif Raymond? No.
Yeah,
they did.
Josh Reynolds.
I don't know if he's still there though.
Josh Reynolds. He used to be on the Rams with Goff. There's history there.
Well, this is the whole concern. Like,
can you support more than 2?
Yeah, it's just
like he's done it before, right?
That's right. He's done it before.
Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp got hurt that year, but he was having a great year, and they had Todd Gurley go off. Can they get something similar here? Like they have DeAndre Swift, Hawkinson. We mentioned all the guys. Williams, St. Brown. A lot of guys.
Now, what was the big thing when it was the Rams? Their defense was amazing.
Their defense was
They
amazing.
had the ball a lot.
They had one of the top offensive lines
Yep.
that year. Now, going into that, I think their offensive line has the potential to be one of the top offensive lines.
And I think their defense is very good.
And their defense has definitely gotten a lot better. I think the only question mark is going to be at their secondary with their corners and their safeties. Just because they're young and they need players to play up to their expectation. His offensive line is, they should have all-pro center, and then their right tackle is going to be one of the best this year, I believe. With I can't say his name, Penny Sewell.
Penny Sewell.
I said that pretty good.
That wasn't bad.
No, not bad. But the last 5 games, he was one of the best right tackles in the league. And don't forget that he didn't even play the year before because of COVID. He had to miss his whole year.
Wait, Penny Sewell missed his whole rookie? No, he didn't.
Not his rookie year. His
college.
His college
He,
year.
he didn't
So
play.
he didn't play college. Then he goes to the NFL. Obviously, he was young too. I think he's 20 years old in the NFL. So there's definitely a lot to look at this team and love it. You got one of the best tight ends.
This gonna be a sneaky good team. We said it last week, and you'll hear it a lot this year. There's a lot of opportunity for young players to come up and make big things happen. It's just like I like St. Brown. Is he going to take that step up now that there's competition there is the question.
And also, is he going to have 120 targets, considering Hawkinson missed the
5 games.
5 games at the end of the year? And also, they're going to have a rookie wide receiver as Williams.
I have a very peculiar stat. I know you're a big TJ Hawkinson guy.
I love TJ.
Did you know he only has one 100-yard game?
Yeah.
He's gone 39 straight games without 100 yards.
It's all touchdowns, baby.
His first game, he had 100 yards. He hasn't had one since.
Yeah, that's a whole other issue. Like, he's on his contract year now. This is 4th season.
Yeah.
Like, they got to think about picking up his 5th-year option and then paying him.
They got his 5th year already.
Oh, so they got to think about paying him. And, they picked him 8th overall. Think about that. Like,
8th. His 5th year contract is pretty high.
It's sizable.
So, and nothing against TJ, but he ain't no Kyle Pitts.
Hey.
Damn right.
Damn right.
Damn right. That's my keeper. But Hawkinson's definitely better than that Browns tight end, 100%.
Oh, TJ, Njoku.
Njoku, 100%. Joe Green, tell us when we expect Jameson Williams to come back. What are the expectations?
Well, it's 8-month to 9-month recovery, so you figure what the timeline was. It January 10th? You got hurt? No.
Yep.
Yeah.
January 10th.
So it should be cleared as soon as July 10th theoretically. If,
He was hurt in the first quarter, if that helps.
yeah.
He got 3 more quarters.
You got 3 more quarters worth of rest.
Just say it.
But you figure he'll be back for the start of the season. But like,
do you think he's going to be active game 1?
Ooh.
Do you think he's going to be put on the PUP list? That's the question. Does he start on the PUP list, or if he starts on the IR, he's out for the whole year?
They're not going to put him on IR.
Nah, there's no need.
I wouldn't be shocked if they put him on PUP because he's a rookie. Like, there's no reason to rush him back. They're not competing for a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And in this division, there's a chance to make the playoffs.
It is.
Like, as we go through this, like, we're going to spend a good amount of time on each of these teams, and it's just like none of these teams really excite any of us. The Lions are.
Well, Lions aside.
Lions are. They have something working. Like, there's teams that have done nothing.
I mean, the last time I was this excited about the Lions, I was winning the VFL championship back in 2012.
I think. Listen, they're a really exciting team with their weapons. I just think, fantasy-wise, who's going to be the guy, right? Like, I don't think St. Brown goes crazy like he did.
As excited as you were for him to be your keeper.
Yeah, excited as I was, them drafting Jameson Williams probably hurt that. Picking up DJ Chark, they still have Hawkinson. Does DeAndre Swift see, 71? What do you have? 78 targets again? Probably not.
It's a lot of question marks.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to the Packers offense. It's like, who's going to step up?
Let's quickly just talk about DJ Chark coming off of a broken ankle, which happened last year. He is fully recovered. His best year was 2019. He played 15 games, had over 1,000 yards. He also had almost 120 targets that year, only 73 receptions. I don't see this happening again. I know that was his big year. He was an all-pro wide receiver that year. I just don't see. Obviously, we're not going to see the targets. And I don't think he has that ability to go downfield and just make those big yak plays. So it's going to be touchdown or bust for him, I believe. He had 8 in the 2009 season. Can we expect the same? 2019. Can we expect, somewhere in that range of touchdowns for him? I don't know.
No.
Don't think so either.
Me either.
They paid him $10 million, so they have plans for him being like a part of the offense.
Mm-hmm. But is a part of the offense 120 targets?
No. I mean,
we're talking about when Minshew and that whole gang was just chucking balls.
Can I just say, look at his stats when Trevor Lawrence was the quarterback? 7 receptions.
It's
7 receptions. That's brutal.
In 4 games.
4.
And he was hurt already.
Had 22 targets.
He
only caught 7.
Trevor Lawrence, what a bust. Continue.
That's it. That's all I have to say about the offense.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about Swift other than the fact that if you've seen his photo recently, he is juicing.
Yeah.
Please.
He is absurd.
Somebody random drug test
I know
guy.
his father is a bodybuilder, but come on, he's juices too. If you look at any bodybuilder, they're all juicing. If they say different, they're lying to you.
Natty, bro.
Somebody get that guy a random drug test.
Yeah.
I think just to touch on him quickly, it's just the injuries, man.
It's always
just the injuries. The guy's been banged up so much.
If he stays healthy all year, you
got a deal.
You got a top 10 running back easily.
You know he's
yeah, it's
the Will Fuller.
Will Fuller 2.0 is DeAndre Swift.
Yeah. Not to mention Lions running backs just go concussions and everything else. They're just known for.
They're hard nosed. That's what it is.
He plays so.
They're biting kneecaps.
Could this be best 2.0?
No, he's better than David. We said this last year. I remember the same comment.
I know.
He's better than that.
Any Lions running back ever. That's just
Javid Best.
Javid Best.
That's who compares.
Reggie Bush.
Next up, we got the Vikings.
Traveling a little bit.
Traveling a lot. They're in the middle of the pack. They're ranked 19 in travel yards.
Travel miles.
Travel away yards.
Yards to work as well.
18,000 plus miles, 22 time zones. Their ranked schedule is 20th right now. The big thing here is they have a new coach. It's Kevin O'Connell, former offensive coordinator for Rams, who I must say led Stafford and Kupp to their best career years.
Why don't like crime?
I don't like crime.
So can we see that again? Is that what you're saying? Can we see why I don't like crime
but
again with Adam Thielen?
I have a key player. I have a key player here that I'm going to speak about later on. That's going to be the different why I don't like crime.
Okay.
I didn't write any key additions. They don't really have much. Key losses.
They did nothing.
They drafted a rookie offensive lineman.
Yes, they drafted a rookie. But we haven't really talked about offensive lineman. He's from LSU, Ed Ingram. Key losses, all defense. They haven't lost any wide receivers or nothing. So actually, they lost Conklin. Conklin is lost to the Jets.
But Irv Smith's back.
So it was a swap, as long as he's
healthy.
Yeah. Finally healthy.
And I don't want to talk about Cousins because Cousins is the same year in and out. Doesn't matter who he's throwing to.
Mr. Consistency.
Mr. 4,000 throws less than 10 picks. He can't run for his life. Going to have 30 touchdowns every year.
I do think last year was his best season, believe it or not, though.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking inches of how much he's gained. All right.
Yeah, but no, it was definitely his best season.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about KJ Osborn. Okay. Every year we talk about wide receivers going into the third year that are going to make that big jump, and how far the jump going to be, especially in fantasy wise. So last year I named players like the Jazz wide receiver. What's his name now? The big contract boy.
Wait, which one? Christian Kirk?
Christian Kirk. He made a big year 3 jump in fantasy. Then we have people that.
Statement.
What do you
He
mean?
was like wide receiver 30 something.
I guess that is a big jump for him.
He went from
45 to 30. It's like
I mean, we have plenty
a
of other.
point a game. But no, I agree that Kirk Cousins, Christian Kirk made a jump.
We
but it's
also
not
we
a
say
huge jump.
we said
from
like
year 2 to year
back
3.
to Metcalf. We can name a ton of players that go from year 2 to year 3 that make that big jump. And what is that? I have KJ Osborn as one of my players that I think is going to make a huge jump. Tell me that stat that I wrote down, Joe Green.
Tell me that stat.
When targeting Osborn in the slot, the passer rating to what?
Passer rating soared to 147.4, which is the highest in the entire league.
There you go.
I have something to say about that stat though.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson most likely doubled. Adam Thielen definitely covered by the other
Yes.
corner. So KJ Osborn's out there running around with like a lineman guarding him.
Okay, but you still
they have a nose tackle.
you can say the same thing with
Covering
Cup. It's the highest. Cup is a slot wide receiver playing for the Rams.
Cup is a top 5 talent in the league, though. KJ Osborn is not.
Exactly what I'm saying. This is a stat that is going to boost
Okay.
up what I'm saying. He's going to
Boost.
be a lot better this year.
Boost.
I need the sound bite.
Boost.
Boost.
But you're saying that it.
I'm
So-
just pointing out
so-
that 147.4 is absurd, and
It's very.
he
good.
wasn't. Yeah,
It's very good.
yeah.
So now I have a stat,
Oh, give me
another
one.
stat to back it up. Not back it up. It tells you how he wasn't used properly. The Vikings converted on just 36.4% of their third downs last year, which ranked 26th over the league. Okay, Minnesota moved the chains just 83 times of the 228 times.
Okay.
You say the slot receiver is there for third down, you got to push the chains. Their head coach comes from the Rams, Kevin O'Connell, who led Cup to the best season he's ever had.
Yes.
Who plays in the slot.
Yeah.
They have Mr. Consistent Kirk Cousins. Their offensive line is decent. They're hoping that Christian Darrisaw has a better year because he was injured basically the whole year. They have second-round pick Cleveland Ezra. They have a second-round pick Ingram. So they have a good right tackle, Brian O'Neill. I have this team doing pretty decent. I wouldn't be shocked if they win this division.
They got to learn how to play defense.
That's true, but that's why they used almost every pick besides the second-round pick on defense. Every free agent they picked up was on defense.
What does this have to do with KJ Osborn? Now
It
I'm
has
lost.
nothing to
No, but I'm just. I
and
think.
Mike,
All right.
to clarify, I don't want to cut you off, but to clarify, I wasn't laughing because you think that KJ Osborn's gonna have a great year, and I think you're crazy. It's the way like you're using your hands and staring into my eyes, like
I'm looking.
you're
at
talking
you.
to me like it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I was like, we solved the mystery of who murdered.
And I'm trying to
It
go
is-
on. I agree.
I'm putting it all together. I'm putting the head coach.
Connecting the dots.
I'm connecting the dots. I'm putting the head coach, KJ Osborn,
Where's my tin
and his
hat?
big and his third year booster.
Boost.
Booster. And I'm telling you right now that I have big expectations from him.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
We talked about it last year when he broke out for a few games. That
Yes.
it was a great.
And I said he was my should be picked up off waiver wire. He was playable towards the end of the year.
and then he wasn't. But
Then
yeah.
he wasn't. Yes.
But yeah,
he,
no,
he-
it's-
he had 82 targets last year, 50 receptions for 655 yards.
That's a 147 passer rating.
Listen,
That's
I'm
wild.
just telling
That's
you.
wild.
I just tell it's from the slot.
Well, it's
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the slot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 7 touchdowns last year. Was pretty damn good with that amount of targets and receptions.
And they got the slot receiver whisperer, Kevin O'Connell.
There you go.
The guy who made Cooper
Not
Kupp.
not Sean McVay.
Not Sean McVay. It was Kevin
I mean,
O'Connell.
it's both.
It's both.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
I think Osborn is a ownable player.
He's a draftable player.
yeah. Sorry, but like
Get your
he's not
gem
going to be
late.
like a waiver wire guy.
He's
or-
not a waiver wire no more.
Like he could be flexed in on most games, depending on obviously what you're
Small
if you're-
enough.
Small window.
I need a drink after that speech.
Yeah.
I think he
I
passes
thought you went
Thielen.
crazy for a bit.
I really do. I think he passes.
There we
Thielen.
go.
I don't know.
I think he surpasses Thielen this year. I thought Thielen last year was starting to show his age.
Yeah, he's starting to show his age a little bit, but
Talk about Thielen.
He
Back-to-back
was-
years with decreased yards.
still 10 touchdowns.
He's the old guy in the locker room. The trend is getting older.
I'm trying to think how.
But
old
he
is
has back-to-back years with 10-plus touchdowns.
31 years old. He's gonna be 32.
His yards cut from 925 to 726 in the past 2 years. He's going to be 32 this year.
That's 2 games. That's a 2-game difference, and he missed 2 games.
You know, he missed a lot. He only played 13 games.
Well,
last year.
2 games less than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from last year.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I'm talking.
2020 he played 15 games. 2021 he played 13. So we're expecting 10 games this year.
What? He played 10 in 2019, and then he went up.
How
to
many
15,
touchdowns do you
13.
have then?
I'm just joking with that trend of
I'd
games.
say that. He had 6 touchdowns
6
in
touchdowns.
2019.
He was on pace for 10.
Yeah.
Because that's all he does is score touchdowns.
It's true.
That's all he needs
Well,
to make him fantasy relevant. That's all he needs.
It's facts.
But I
But-
And then you also bring in Irv Smith.
But you also have Osborn having 7. It's impressive. And Jefferson
yeah.
probably with 9. I don't know how many.
no,
just-
10. It's you scroll up. He had 10.
He had 10.
Thielen had 10,
10,
and Osborn had 7. So there's 27 right there.
Conklin had 3. Irv Smith is a much better player than Tyler Conklin.
Well, yeah, we talked about that next.
Yeah.
But I
No.
just split. I really think Osborn passes Thielen this
I
year.
love you.
It's
I would kiss you if I could.
you could. Last year I was in the Irv Smith train.
Yes, we all were.
Yep. And unfortunately, tore his meniscus.
What? It's like the bitchiest knee injury you could possibly have. Like, it's not like
It is basically the same thing as an ACL. It's the muscle that's behind the ACL.
yeah, but I know like some people I went to high school with. He was walking fine.
Yeah, you can't play football with it.
I don't think you. I think
You
you're
had
fine.
surgery.
Let's
That's
get out
why.
of the surgery. We'll start running.
Okay,
It's only a little thing.
you're right.
I know some
It's
people
a-
don't
It's a
have-
wee little muscle.
Some people don't
in your-
even have them
in your strongest part of your body. So
Anyway,
you said some people don't have meniscuses?
yeah, after they tear it. It's a dad joke.
It's a real bad joke. I lost my train of thought.
All
Irv
right,
Smith.
Irv Smith.
I
We're-
just think he's the ability.
the ability's
is-
there.
Yeah, the ability's there. Can he stay healthy? Because the targets will be there if he's healthy.
So let's just go into a little bit of a backstory.
I will
Last
say.
year-
Sorry.
You're cutting me off.
Sorry. I apologize.
Okay.
If Irv Smith stays healthy all year, the value of Conklin, not Conklin, Osborn goes down.
You would hope. You would think. Not hope. I don't hope. I don't hope.
Would you
I
agree?
put my name on it.
My
already.
question is, would you agree?
You had targets are gonna go somewhere else. Okay. So I'm just setting the time zone. All right. Last year we were all high on him. So was the Vikings. They released Kyle Rudolph, and his job was going to be guaranteed to be a baller. Okay. Then he gets injured, and Tyler Conklin comes in and shows us kind of what we expect he should be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Tyler Conklin last year had 593 yards, 87 targets, 61 catches, and 3 touchdowns.
Mhm.
Those, I mean, you're saying Osborn goes down, but those are kind of the similar numbers I'm expecting from him besides touchdowns.
Yeah, I think touchdowns go up. I could see about the 90, 95 targets. Nothing crazy,
Mhm.
but like we said, the reason why Osborn did so well because there's a nose tackle in coverage, and you'll get the same thing with Irv. You'll get a lineman on him, a linebacker on him that's just not as fast, not as athletic, and he's gonna beat him. Every
We
time.
all agree that Tyler Conklin is not as good as
Of course.
Irv
Yeah,
Smith Jr.
of course.
Yeah.
So we're all projecting, if not this, something better at tight end.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Kevin O'Connell, they asked him about Irv Smith actually today, and he said that he's going to be a major part of what we do. Now, that could be coach
Like a
speak.
Tyler Higbee,
yeah.
like a Tyler Higbee kind of guy. Tyler Higbee also had his best year last year with who? Matthew Stafford. Come on,
Agree. I agree. You lined it up perfectly.
the new Rams. Are the Vikings the new Rams?
It could
They
be.
actually have like a similar
Yes.
set of
Yeah.
talents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. With
The
Dalvin
only
Cook
thing they don't
there.
have is a defense.
Yeah.
But like I said, my point is that, and this is my last thing. They ranked 24 in total defense last year. Their whole objective this past year was to do all defense. And I'm not. This is fantasy relevant, but I'm telling you, the Vikings are making a push for this division.
At some point it is, because every week we were talking about whoever was playing the Vikings secondary is going to go off.
Yeah.
They were 31st last year in yards allowed, and I believe receptions to wide receivers. So at what point is it not fantasy relevant? And it is.
And how many games were like, let's just see what happens in the Vikings. We were saying the Vikings were just going to, like, at the end of the fourth quarter, they were just getting those extra fantasy points for no reason.
Yeah, like if you play a lot of DFS, the wide receiver 2 against the Vikings was just free.
Yeah.
It was just so free. So there's always angles to things, but we'll see.
We're going to talk about Dalvin Cook just real quick. We have a key stat from our Joe Green.
Yeah, I listen, it's not even really a key stat. I know there was not much to discuss about Dalvin Cook, but if you draft him, just know that he's only going to get you 13, 14 games. He hasn't played more than 14 games his entire career. So
It's always at the end of the year.
yeah, it is. It's he misses the worst time of the year. It's always around week 13, 14. He misses a game or two, and it fucks up your whole season.
Yep, like last year when I played Mr. Joe Green in the playoffs, and I had Dalvin Cook, and he was no longer with me.
And the sad part last year that Madison was hurt too, so
Yep.
they didn't even,
I had
didn't
room
even
to
have
pick up CJ Ham.
CJ.
Ham.
Yeah,
I have room to pick him up. I already have Madison and him. It's brutal.
This week's not much about running backs because you know what you're expecting this year. We're talking about wide receivers a lot because in this division especially is a lot of question marks, and that's kind of where we need to step in and tell you what we're thinking.
Yeah, well, if you look like the NFC East, there's a lot of question marks running back. Like no one's questioning Dalvin Cook, David Montgomery, who we'll talk about next, and even DeAndre Swift. It's just injuries with a lot of those guys.
Yes. The next up, the Bears.
Bears.
So they have the 5th least travel yards with 10,000. 8 time zones that they have to pass. They're kind of with the Lions. But they're ranked as 24th ranked in schedule ranking, which is not strength of schedule, ranked in schedule, however you want to say it. Now, before this, I talked about the Vikings coach. Now I'm going to talk about the Bears coach. They hired Matt Eberflus. Okay? Floss.
There's no way he was getting that name right.
The best part is we went over it before the podcast.
Did you?
Yeah.
We did. I asked him. I asked him, how do you say this?
Boys and girls, sometimes it's fun to be late to a podcast.
He was formerly defensive coordinator for the Colts. And I'm saying this why? Because their team no longer is a top defense. Their team is basically supposed to be about
tanking. They're about to
tanking.
They're about to suck
They're the
ass.
Jaguars.
They're supposed to be about Justin Fields. Okay?
No.
Now,
Are they?
No.
It's supposed to
No,
be.
they're not.
Are they?
Them and the Jaguars are competing for who can put a worse product on the field. And right now, the Bears,
No.
after they signed Dante Pettis, it was just, I said, you guys got it. Good job. You did it.
World's worst football team.
Their offensive coordinator was their solving to this. They hired the Packers quarterback coach, Luke Getsy, to run the Chicago offense. Okay? Never been an offensive coordinator. He's going to be the Pats quarterback coach. If anything, that to me, it means quick passes because guess what? This offensive line got worse. All right? Didn't get better, got worse.
They can't.
Where'd
really,
they get better, though?
yeah, but
No,
hear
I'm
me
just
out.
saying that the offensive got my
out.
whole thing about this whole team, the offensive line got worse.
It can't be worse than Matt Nagy, can it?
I don't know, can it?
Well, the play calling can't be worse than
Yes,
that.
Yeah,
but the team could still be worse. So does that even out?
No, it evens out. Like if the players aren't good and like the play calling's better, then you can blame the players and not the coach. It's like when you're running the ball on 3rd and 9, what are we doing? Throw the ball.
Running QB sneak on 3rd and 8. What are we doing?
when you're punting on second down. What are we doing?
Enough giant jokes here. The key additions: St. Brown's older brother. I can't say his first name.
Equanimous.
There you go. They signed the Giants Hall of Famer Dante Pettis.
I really wish you would have
You spelt it wrong too. That's his boy.
Well, I swear to God, I tried to spell his name like 10 times, looking back and forth, and I was like, nah, that's enough. The one thing I do love is Brian Pringle coming to this team.
It's Byron, isn't it?
Brian.
It's definitely Byron.
No, it's Byron Pringle.
Anyway, Pringle. I'm not saying this next person. I'd say Jones. Velas. Learn how to name your fucking child. Swear to God.
I don't disagree, but sometimes they do it for you, Mike. They do it for you.
I think they put people on this earth just to challenge me, and I'm losing.
We gotta do. Right, what was it? At the end of last year, we said we were gonna do a spelling bee.
Spelling bee.
We gotta get that done this year.
We don't need a spelling bee. Can you please say this word?
Yeah.
Can I have pronunciation? No.
We have the origin, please.
Their key loss is a big loss, which not last year, but it was Allen Robinson, who's currently on the Rams. Now, going over this team, I think the biggest thing is going to be Justin Fields. What are you expecting out of him year 2? I'm not saying much because this offensive line is garbage. Fields was sacked 36 times in only 10 game starts last year. 10. He ranks 10th among all QBs who started most of the 18, 17 games. Went into the playoffs. Probably had less sacks than him. This offensive line got even worse. Their only signee was Patrick Lucas, who's going to play center for them. Which is not saying much. What? You still funny?
No. I somehow put an emoji next to that entire stat. I don't know.
Am I a clown to you? Am I a clown to you?
I don't know, I just thought it was funny.
Am I here to make you laugh?
I mean,
Can
partially, yeah.
Can I have that? Am I a clown to you? Can I have that clip on this?
Okay.
Like I'm saying, I don't expect much from him.
They set him up to fail.
It is.
Set him up to fail.
You know what? Which is funny because they said their whole thing is to set up Justin Fields to be the best player he could be, which is not true.
It's a lie.
They added, a kick returner for a wide receiver.
Wide receiver 1.
Yeah, Velus Jones.
Who's 25 years old?
25 years old.
He couldn't even graduate fucking college.
That's not what happened, but sure.
What was he had a transfer portal?
Yeah, he went from USC to Tennessee.
Well, if he was good enough at UFC, why didn't he just fucking get drafted?
Because he was on that team with Drake London and they were stacked. He was like the fifth option. But I mean, Justin Fields is definitely, if anyone's going to be good, I mean, Justin Fields is going to have to be respectable, which is hard to see happening.
Now, we're going to talk about, where did you do it? We're going to talk about Darnell Mooney, probably the only thing you're going to touch on this team.
And the running back.
Yeah, and Dave Montgomery.
Yeah.
Where do you expect him to run either with this offensive line?
He was good last year.
The
year before
actually,
that?
he wasn't that good, and he was injury prone.
Last year, he was all right.
He was banged up.
Some will say that Herbert was better than him when he was on the field.
What? I mean, who's some? I mean, he averaged more yards. Averaged more yards per carry, but 4.2 to 3.8. I don't think that was. I was like,
It's better.
Numbers.
Yeah. This is a year 3 player, Mooney, going to year 3. Let me say this again. Year 3 is a special number for wide receivers. Had 140 targets last year. I expect 190 because there's no one else on this fucking team. But 140 targets to only 81 catches is not saying much. Only had 1,055 yards, 4 touchdowns. So he doesn't have the touchdowns. He has a decent receptions for 81, but his targets to receptions ratio is just garbage.
Think about, you know how bad that is that you had 140 targets, barely cracked 1,000 yards.
I
I'm not saying Mooney's bad. I'm just saying at 140 targets, barely cracked 1,000 yards, and I only had 4 touchdowns.
He averaged 13.
Andy Dalton throwing the ball to him. Then Justin Fields. But he had
Fields
Matt Nagy calling the plays. What do you want the guy to do?
13 yards a catch.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that's absurd. The only person who had a worse yards per catch with that many targets was Jalen Waddle, and that's because we know who was throwing him the football.
Yeah,
can't wait.
The only thing I'm saying is Robinson did take some coverage away from the defenses last year. I don't care what anybody says. He was still being looked at as a good wide receiver. Now Mooney is the man. He's going to start seeing the coverages his way, and not even that they need to, because the pass rush will reach there before he even throws the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna draft him simply based off targets. I do expect more than 140 targets to him this year.
That's a lot of targets.
You guys think he's gonna get less than 140 targets?
It'll probably be about the same.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked if he had that Brandon Marshall type year.
Oh my God, no! I think you're probably looking at the same.
Yeah.
I think it's just
even if you have the same, it's still freaking impressive.
Are you buying into the hype though? Everyone is hyping this man up like he is the next thing.
I remember last time we hyped up a Bears
to a point.
We hyped up a Bears wide receiver. What was his name? We don't longer speak about him.
You talking about the guy who was on the Eagles and they won the Super Bowl?
No, I think he got traded.
You talking about Nick Foles?
Nick Foles? No.
He was on the Texans last year.
What?
What's his name?
Brandon Cooks.
No. Anyway,
I'll look it up.
While you're looking it up, as far as Darnell Mooney goes, there's to a certain point I'm buying the hype. I'm not willing to draft him as a wide receiver 1. I've heard rumors on Twitter of things like that happening. That is absolutely insane. But he's valuable to an extent. I don't know anything about this coach. I'm not sure if he knows anything about it. There's a lot of
Matt Eberflus.
Yeah.
He's defensive coach. That's all I know.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows what throwing a football looks like. We'll see. So there's a lot of question marks going in. So to buy in on hype based off a third year and a second year jump from both Mooney and then from Fields, it's a bold take.
Well, I think
it's a risk, but the reward is worth it.
Well, I think what you're getting is volume, no matter what.
Yes.
Like even if it's not like efficient.
But he didn't even have 100 catches with the 100.
No,
you know,
60 balls that went uncatchable.
59 balls hit the ground.
Yeah.
Out of 140 of
Can we expect that again? Yes.
I don't want 59 balls to hit.
I don't either, but that's to say that he has gonna have time to go down the field. Like the same thing with we're gonna have this conversation of what we expect from Cole Kmet.
Nothing.
Like I expect him to be blocking.
He is. Joe Green's the highest on him out of anybody in this room, and I still don't know why.
The previous
he hears like Matthew Berry talk about him. He's like, "Oh, Cole Kmet's my favorite new player." And gets like half of our league to try to draft him.
The previous wide receiver that we boosted for the Bears was Anthony Miller.
Oh, that's you.
No.
He was a huge Anthony Miller fan. If he says anything different, I will sock him in his face.
We'll pull up the recordings. We'll find out.
He loved him.
I'm
not gonna say I wasn't not big. I was big on him, but you were huge. You were. I can't even say it on the podcast. You
were. To be honest, I did draft Anthony Miller last year in like one of my 5 leagues as a 15th round pick, and I dropped him week 1.
I forgot about Anthony Miller. Shout out Aries.
There it is, Aries. Aries is just on a fucking shit wagon.
Aries, not that good.
Another wide receiver I liked. I mean, there's only other one is Byron Pringle. I think that it was a huge mistake, Kansas City losing him, especially after trading Hill to the Dolphins. Last year was his best year with 568 yards. Had only 60 targets, caught 42. He's going to be playing in the slot mainly. don't know if he's going to be fantasy relevant yet because it's going to be based off how I see this offense. But if you want to, I'll just wait, pick him up in free agents. I don't think you're going to see much out of him.
I can't imagine anyone on this team is drafted besides Darnell Mooney and David Montgomery.
I bet you people draft Fields. It's just,
I mean, if you're in a deep league, a dynasty league, or something,
I bet you. I can name you 3 people in our league that's dumb enough that they're going to be drafting Fields.
I'm praying he has a good first half of the year so I can dump him off. And
see, he's already playing about.
Dude. I haven't been dynasty. I can't wait to dump his ass off.
I wrote that we're always high on year 2 of QBs because especially running QBs, but then I went over his rushing. It's not really impressive.
They didn't let him run.
He didn't run.
No,
Matt Nagy doesn't let him run. He let Andy Dalton.
It was pretty.
Dalton run more.
Pretty bad.
No love for your boy Dante Pettis.
No.
What about Tajay Sharp?
No.
Such a bad wide receiver core, man.
It's the worst in the NFL.
Just so you know, Fields averaged 35 yards per game rushing last year. When he was running,
that's actually not as bad as I thought.
I mean, that's
designed plays though. I was
running
for his life.
That also, in 10 games, he had 1 big game with rushing, so it really boosts the numbers.
Yeah, he had a 100-yard game.
Yeah.
He had a 10-yard, 10 rush, 103 yards rushing against the 49ers.
That's the game I think they lost in like the 4th quarter. I think.
Yeah, they lost a close one that one.
Justin Fields also fumbled 4 times. Talk about Daniel Jones right there.
All right, let's.
I was looking at it while we were talking about
this. Wait, 10 interceptions, 4 fucking fumbles, and yes, I'm cutting you off.
No, that's fine because I was looking at it. I was like, that looks so familiar. Like Daniel Jones' first year, 7 touchdowns. 10 interceptions, 4 fumbles. Look it up. I can almost guarantee it's the same stat line.
And guess what? This offensive line is going to be worse than the Giants.
Yeah. It's bad. It's a bad offense.
It's a bad team.
He's going to be Carr's brother. He's going to be out.
I'll gladly take David Montgomery as a running back too on my team. I won't let him be my running back 1. Can't trust the offense. Will he probably finish in the top 10? Yeah.
See, this is the tip. Don't draft players on bad teams.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I know some
don't draft running backs on bad teams.
That's a fact.
I know that some people are gonna, chime in. Joe Burrow was sacked the most. Yeah, he was. Joe Burrow was sacked in 16 games. He was sacked a total of 51 times. And guess what? He has Chase. He has Higgins. He has Boyd.
He's got Joe Mixon. He had, what's his name? The tight end?
CJ
Uzama. And a defense.
He had a decent defense.
Yeah, but
he balled out.
That stat is also a little like misconstrued. Like, it's not sacks that matter. It's pressure rate. Like, how often are they getting to you? Like, not sacking you to the ground. Like, he could have just been sacked because he held onto the ball too long. That's what really matters.
And I'm telling you, Justin Fields wasn't holding on to the ball too long. He's a one read.
Sometimes he was.
He was one read. He's a one read. He can't even read a defense.
One read and get sacked.
Also, remember, Fields was sacked 36 times. He only played 12 games. Joe Burrow
played
16.
10 games. The 10s were starts.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Starts,
so yeah.
12 games, 10 starts.
So, put that over a 17-game pace.
You were talking about 90 times.
Yeah, he's leading the
league.
He's
going to die. 911. Can we have this is Chicago. There's going to be another dead fucking person out there.
This is the mayor of Chicago. Somebody get this man some help.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Cole Kmet?
This all I had to say about Cole Kmet.
Yeah, you talked about Cole.
That's not all you got to say about Cole Kmet.
This was my thing about Cole Kmet. He was 9th most targeted tight end last year. He finished 20th. There's clearly no other great options on the team. He could see a lot of volume again. Now, am I drafting him? No.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
Could he be a sneaky guy who ends up in the top 10? Yeah, maybe. But, that's not saying a lot for tight ends depending on the year. But, yeah, I think he's, worthy of keeping an eye on. Am I drafting him? No.
You said he's a sneaky play for top 6.
Yeah, well, if you outside the top 5 tight ends, they really all suck if you really look at it. Unless Gronk's back. If Gronk returns, then there's a different story.
Yeah.
Why does that make a difference?
Because that would be 6.
Then the number goes to 7.
Yeah. There's really only about 5 good tight ends.
Are you the one of the guys who's not good but you played well in fantasy.
That's what happens. Yeah.
That's what it is. That was the Kyle Pitts discussion last year. Like, are you actually that good, or are you just not really that good?
Are you really just the only person on the team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm gonna see because you're my keeper.
Who? Cole Kmet? I hope not.
No.
That's it.
That wraps it up. Billy, tell us everything that they need to know.
Well, you got to give them the TikTok. I don't know the TikTok. Is it?
Fantasy football degenerates, baby.
Yeah.
That's what the handle is.
ffdegenerates.
Yes,
ffdegenerates. Yeah, that's all I need to know.
Just look up degenerates. It comes right up. There's not them.
ffdegenerates. Mike, work on that tag for us. Try to steal it from somebody else. Everywhere else is ffd_podcast. Like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your dad, tell your neighbors, co-workers, tell everybody.
Tag them.
Like, follow, subscribe. We'll see you motherfuckers next week.
Smooches.